And Koreans are doing it right. Koreans are doing it right. I'm not even gonna lie. Hi people, welcome to the channel. If it's your first time, my name is Tali Adewale and this is DISBYDEM. Today we're going to be talking about the Netflix new romance reality TV show, Better Late Than Single. Go ahead and hit that notification bell, hit the like button. Leave your comments if you started this, if you've seen all 3 episodes, because I think it's only 3 out right now. No spoilers, but leave your comments. Let me know how you're enjoying it so far. And also smash that subscribe button, guys. Announcement. I know you guys are voting right now on which series we should do a review on. And Exchange 2 is winning because of Shy Guy, aka Hyung-Jung. It's still gonna be, it's coming up. It's gonna either launch either Saturday if I can't make, because today is, probably Saturday, because that will be a week from when I posted, the thingy. I'm gonna put it on here, or Sunday. It doesn't really matter, but we're doing all of it, guys. We're doing Better Late Than Single, Exchange 2, and My Siblings Romance China. God help me. But because it's reviews, I think it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I already even started watching My Siblings Romance China. It's the same format as My Siblings Romance Korea. Thank the Lord. Because honestly, the subtitles are in the trenches sometimes. I'm here, using Google Image Translate. Like, I'm doing the works, guys. But thank God that the concept is the exact same as the Korean one. Otherwise, I'm gonna be in the trenches with those subtitles. But yeah, so let's get into it. So this is a new thing. And honestly, the vibes of the show give me Offline Love a little bit. Not at first, but by the end of episode 1, I was like, okay, I can see the vision. Also, let's address the eyebrows in the room, guys. I'm not wearing glasses, as you can tell. And it's because I've had migraines for a couple of days. And when that happens, because I've been staring at my computer way too long, so I need no screens, no glasses, none of that stuff. If my eyes cross, it could happen, guys. If my eyes cross during this review, just ignore them. It's because I don't have glasses. And focusing tends to be really difficult for me. I'm also going to squint because I got my notes here, guys. I got to read them. I got to squint. And now coming back to the eyebrows, because I was not wearing glasses, I grabbed the first eye pencil my hand touched. I thought it was brown. It ended up being this. It's too late. I'm not going back. So we move, guys. We move. It is what it is. It's not the end of the world. They're just eyebrows. Anywho, the show was giving me Offline Love vibes. By the end of it, I was like, oh yes, something beautiful is probably going to emerge from this show, and I am excited. I'm so freaking excited. Anyway, so the show Better Late Than Single brings together never daters or eternal singles, and I only know this phrase because of 19 to 20, one of my favorite boys in that, the one who wanted to become an actor and who became one of my favorites at the end. I can't remember his name right now. He used to whisper that under his breath, and it cracked me up. Oh my God. That's the only reason why I knew this phrase. So it brings together 10 never daters or eternal singles, and then they are coached and mentored by Cupids. They call them Cupids, who are the hosts of the show. They're also giving, makeovers, speech therapy, weight consultation, confidence consultation, I think even psychological consultations as well. They did a whole lot of work on this 10 singles for 6 weeks before the show, and then they are launched into the show and launched into this whole environment where they have to try and find their match by the end of the show. Now, before we get into the details of it, I think, considering the cruelty of how these shows tend to go, and I mean, you understand what I mean by the end of the sentence. Not that the shows are cruel, but the cruelty of these kind of shows is the conga line, with somebody always ending up not getting anybody at the end of the show. Considering these people have never dated before or have been rejected so many times that they have some kind of complex about being single, not being approachable, not having the social skills to interact with the opposite sex, I think it's going to be cruel for whoever it is that ends up single at the end. I'm just saying. But I'm hoping that whatever it is that they learn throughout the entirety of the show, helps them overcome, the weight of the whole aspect of rejection, because in the end it is rejection. It means that you were not chosen. So whatever it is that they learn throughout the entirety of the show helps them overcome the rejection, and whatever complex will probably be negatively impactful to them at the end. That's my hope. That is my honest hope, honestly. So we're introduced to the hosts, and the hosts are In-guk. He seems to be the leading man, and I know him from Death's Game and then Cafe. Is it Minamde or something like that? I never finished it, so I can't really remember. In fact, I only watched 2 episodes, if I'm being honest. Not because it was bad, I just lost interest. Kang Hun, who, oh my gosh, she was the princess in Moon Lovers, and if you've seen my review on Moon Lovers, you know how I felt about her. It was a love-hate relationship. Love because she was diabolical. Fantastic. Hate because she was picking on what's her name so much, and because she was diabolical. That's just the truth. I thought that her mind was fantastic, and I feel like she was wasted. I think that her character was wasted on that show because she was so good. Stank so good. She really was. So seeing her, like, girl hasn't even aged. This was 10 years ago. God, man, Koreans are doing it right. Koreans are doing it right. I'm not even gonna lie. Lee Eun-ji, who I really don't know from anywhere, and then Car the Garden. I don't even know anything about this guy whatsoever. First time seeing him. My first question was, what qualifies the hosts to be cupids and mentors to these people who have never dated? Are they themselves in relationships, happy, loving, long-lasting relationships? Are they by any chance married? Like, what was the qualifications in order to choose these people to mentor these singles who have no context or no idea whatsoever to achieve, finding the love of their life? I just wanted to know what the content, what the requirements were for choosing the host, because even in that doubt, Card Garden said something to one of the singles during his own mentoring session, and I was like, this is why I was questioning your credentials, because what kind of stupid advice is that? But we will get there. Then we are introduced to the singles. So they take them to this beautiful, almost like a retreat compound. It was giving PG Love Island, if I'm being honest. If I am being honest. Not all us. It's been a long day. If I'm being honest, it was giving PG Love Island. Maybe because I'm watching Love Island UK or US right now. So that's really where my mind pulls to a lot of the time. But that's what it kind of felt to me when they pulled in and we saw the compound where they were staying. So first single was a guy. And I'm going to give you my first impressions as I name the single. So Jaehyun, he was 27. First impression of him was that he was shy, cute, awkward. And then a pro for me was that he loved anime. He was naming animes and nobody understood what he was saying. And I was like, okay, so maybe he's just rolling in the wrong circles. Now, don't get me wrong. This guy, as soon as I saw him and the way he was behaving, I was like, people with social skills don't know how good we have it. And honestly, people who are social, I feel like we take it for granted. Because when I saw Jaehyun, I was like, wow. He couldn't even speak out loud. He can't look people in the eye. Like, just zero social skills whatsoever. But when he was talking about anime, he came out. He really came alive. And I thought maybe, just maybe, this guy has been rolling in the wrong circles, because the girl, his co-worker who was sitting beside him, didn't know what he was talking about. I was like, just because you don't know doesn't mean there are not tons of girls out there that watch anime. There are mad circles of girls that watch anime and love anime. He just needs to be maybe in the right crowd, because physically he's handsome. Yeah, his lungs cover his face, and I think that's a coping thing where it's like disassociation, or he's just, trying to hide, behind his hair. But sweep it to the side and we got a full thing going. The man said that the most he'd done was hold a girl's hand during prayers in a Bible camp, and I was like, my God. And then later on, he even tells us a story about a girl in Bible camp. I don't know if it was the same girl or the same Bible camp, but he goes on to text this girl and she rejected him, and that was one of the things that really held him back from dating or approaching the opposite sex throughout his entire life. So he does meet with his Cupid. His Cupid was Seo In-guk. And I wasn't really a fan of how In-guk was interrupting him. Yeah, I get that he's soft-spoken and, he speaks slowly, but let him finish his sentence. Goddamn, man. Let him finish his fucking sentence. Jesus. I don't know, something about the Cupids pisses me off. I feel like I would prefer it if they were just hosts. And the show had brought in the way they did actually. They did bring in professionals, professional trainers, professional speech therapists, professionals, psychologists. Like they brought in professionals to help them. I think they should have just stuck with that and left the host to host. I don't understand their credentials to be mentoring these singles. I'm just saying. It's like putting me on the show and saying that I need to mentor them. Fine, I have a marriage going on 10 years. I feel like my husband and I communicate properly. But do I think that I am qualified to give people advice on dating? Hell nah. Situations are different. I'm not trained for that. Like, please let me know if you agree. Let me know if you agree in the comment section. Anyways, when he meets with him, I'm just going to skip the Cupid dates, the host dates, the mentor dates, because to be honest, I was just not feeling that aspect of the show. Next girl we see is Kang Ji-soo, and she's 26, and I was like, oh my god, she looked lovely. Her intro, in her intro, when she was wearing the black and white dress, coming into the, I'm just going to call it Love Island Villa at this point. Okay, maybe Eternal Singles Villa, let's do that. She looked like the girl from Love Scouts. To the T. I was like, oh my god, she's so lovely. She looked pretty. I thought that she had style and she was beautiful from the very beginning. And her own thing, she's just slightly awkward. And she just explained it that she had done everything with girls. Like in her junior high, it was all girls. High school, they only had, it was 40 girls, 5 boys. And then she went to an all-girl university. So she's just really awkward around men. She doesn't really know how to interact around men, because she's never had to. Otherwise, I thought that everything else was going well for her. She did seem very keen though. I think she was very keen to be on the show, very keen to, hopefully find the love of her life, or at least somebody that she can date. She seemed very, very much on board, and I appreciated that, because this seemed like somebody that would appreciate the concept of the show. Then next was Sung Lee. He's 27 years old. And for him, I wrote, whoa. He was giving action movie star, man. My God. So he lived in Brazil for 12 years. I think he said when he was 8, he moved to Brazil for 12 years, and he was bullied because he didn't understand the language, and he was also overweight. So those interactions, that experience kind of shaped the way he interacted with people of the opposite sex. And eventually he got his health back on track, because he was buff, man. He looked like, oh my god, man could lift you, with one hand. He started working out, and he also plays soccer, so he took care of his body. But the other aspect of things were already like deep rooted. So I guess he's here just because he was never able to. He said he became very conservative in Brazil, because a lot of girls would approach him and say things like, do you want to just kiss and everything? And it was just not his style. So he became very conservative, where he drew the line. And I guess he drew it too deep, because he never crossed it. And now he's 26 years old and has never dated before. At that point, they did show us the two men and the women sitting in the ES Villa. And it was so freaking awkward. Jaehyun was actually very impressive. He was the one who started the conversation. He asked everybody about their name, but it kind of ended up being him just talking to Sung Lee, and Jisoo just looking up, nobody actually directly interacting with her. I was like, my lord, I tell you, we take these social skills for granted, and we really shouldn't. Next we see Kim Yo-myung, who's 26. I wrote she's very pretty. She was giving schoolgirl vibes, the way she came in, very like, fresh, and just she was giving that schoolgirl wide-eye vibes, and I kind of liked it. She says that she wants to work on her glow up. She felt like she's a little overweight, so she was focusing more on exercise and diet. I was like, girl, you want to see a little overweight? dot. Okay. Dot. When she got into the ES Villa where everybody was gathered, I thought maybe Sung Lee had a crush on her, because he kept looking at her. But I guess it was creative editing, because later on we see who he actually liked upon first impression, and it wasn't who I thought. I was very angry at myself, or at them, for making me think things that weren't true. Next was Sang-ho, who's 27. And I thought that he was going to be the pampan of the group. Like I said, I'm watching my siblings' romance right now, and there's someone actually called Pampang. And if you know what Pampang is, it's like, chubby. They always have that nickname for somebody in a lot of the Chinese shows that I watched. And then the more I looked at him, he was giving money, and this was even before the glow up, guys. The more he interacted, when he was sitting down with his friends and they were, chiding him and just, talking about his weight and everything, he was looking more and more manly. And I was like, oh, he's got like this strong manly vibe going for him, but still gentle in a very appealing way. I like him, and he seems to be very social. Because even when they gathered at night, he seemed to be the one to be making all the interjected, comments here and there. So I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence. I don't really know who I like yet. I haven't chosen. Maybe I have. I don't know. By the end of this review, we'll see. So this was the interaction that I didn't like with Garden. The Car asked him, "What did you want to work on?" Sang-ho said, "I want to work on my fashion." Car said, "You're too big. You're overweight. You need to lose weight." And I get it. Maybe he was saying it in jest, but it was very rude. He also said, was he the one that he told that if another man wanted, I don't know who Car the Guardian told this to, but he said that if there was a rival for the girl, you like just stomp on his feet so he's in pain the next day. And I was like, what kind of freaking advice is this? Even In-guk said you are literally preaching violence on TV. Like, who does that? What were the qualifications for these hosts, for these cupids? As hosts, fine, you talk your talk. You're not actually putting it in people's head to be violent on TV. Yes, I get it. Stomping somebody's feet is not that bad in the grand scheme of things. But where do we draw the line? Because you're stomping one day, you're stabbing the next. Like, where do we draw the line? I'm asking you. I just didn't like it. I just didn't like him. And the hosts, I just didn't like them as cupids. I just didn't get their qualifications. It's like our doctor from and if you guys watched the series, what did we just finish? God, my head. Heart Pairing. Our doctor, you guys know she's my favorite person on that panel. Speaking from experience and from training. Simple. Anything she said, I was down for it. In fact, most of the time, we agreed on a lot of things that she said. Because we know that this woman is speaking from experience. What are these people speaking from? What training do they have? I gotta let it go. You guys know I'm not down with these hosts being cupids or mentors. I like them as hosts, but not as mentors. So I'm not going to bring it up again. I'll just make a face. Okay. Essentially, when he started the show, he was a certain age. I think he was 107 or something like that. But he lost 20 kg. And he did look good. The glow up was actually fantastic. He looked really amazing. I thought he looked manly before the glow up, but he looked even better after. So good on him. He did his thing. Next, we see Min-ho, who's 28. And her first, when she was walking into the ES villa, she was giving Wednesday vibe, very dark and gloomy. And honestly, even though she does have like a very quirky, fun side, and she's actually she's beautiful when she like releases the dark aura energy, I still think that she has a lot of Wednesday vibes to her, because she said that the reason why she's not actually been in a relationship is because she's very direct. She's very particular about the kind of person that she wants, about how they need to be, how they need to react, how they need to behave. It was very intense. And her Cupid, this was actually good advice, I guess, just based on life, told her that restricting herself so much is really closing herself to a lot of opportunities that, yeah, maybe she's of the opinion that they can't change, especially after a certain age. And I'm with her 50-50. I'm the kind of person that will tell you what I want. Even my husband now, when we're dating, I told him what I wanted. I was like, these are the things that I want in a man, And I'm not saying that you need to fit all of it. There are things that you won't know now. There are things that you will learn, right? But I just need that the foundation should be there. And that was it. Everything else, honestly, we both learned together in our relationship. We've learned in our marriage. So I get what's her name, Hannah, was coming from when she told her that she's putting herself in the box, literally. And it's why she's been on, how many dates has she been on? 99 or something like that? With no success, because she's so particular and she's driving people away. Next was Yido, Pink Barbie. I thought she was cute. Honestly, she looked 16 to me. She's 27 years old. She said she missed out on exchange 1 because she didn't have an ex. Which was kind of funny. She talks a lot. She's a talkative. She's also a tutor, so I think it kind of comes hand in hand with her profession. But she talks a lot and she talks fast. Now, it looked like she worked with I think a therapist, in order to listen more rather than talk more. And by the time she got into the ES villa, it seemed like, it was just day 1, right? But it seemed like she had taken all the lessons in hand, and it looked like she was pacing herself a little more because she wasn't talking as well. But when it comes to social skills, she's actually really social, because when they gathered at the end of the night, she was firing a lot of those questions, you know. A lot of people couldn't still make eye contact while she was being very social and asking a ton of questions. Next was Jung Muk. He's 26 and he's a twin. And I just wrote adorable. He might be my favorite best based on first impressions. I don't know, there's something about him that was just very charming. It pulls you in. He just sat down and I was smiling already. I don't know what to say. Some people just have that energy. So he said that he wanted fashion tips most because a lot of the clothes that he wears are clothes that his twin brother just bought. So he basically just shares clothes with his twin brother. So In-guk hooked him up with his own personal styling team. I thought that was kind of cool. Whatever my feelings are about the Cupids, I thought that was very cool. For him to hook him with his own people that he has worked with and he knows their style. That was really cool. And by the end of it, when he came, after the makeover, he looked like a real cool guy. In fact, everybody was impressed. They were like, oh my God, he looks like a what do they call him? New rich or something like that. I guess the confidence with which he carried himself was very attention grabbing of all the singles, because he was number 8. So there was only 2 more left after him. Next came G1. She's 27 and I just wrote, wow, she is stunning. Girl is beautiful. She said she grew up without a father figure or father in her life, so that has affected her relationship with men. She can't trust men, and so every single time that she meets somebody, even when it's good, she tends to doubt whether their intentions are pure, just because of what happened with her dad, which is honestly sad, because how many great relationships would she have missed out on just because she can't trust men, you know? They don't go into depth of, what her dad did, but I think the dad basically abandoned them, and so there was nobody in her life that she could look up to when it came to men. Last was Kang Hun, and he's 26. So I wrote cocky because of the leather jacket, but then when he smiles, he is so cute. He's actually really handsome. I like the bunny teeth. If you've seen the show, you know what I mean. It just makes you instantly adorable. I don't know what it is. But first we see him behind the bar mixing drinks and telling people which ones are most popular, and then he says he's a medical student. I'm like, whoa, talk about misdirection. So he's a medical student. He's still in medical school, and he's just trying to, because he was busy trying to get into high school and then busy trying to get into medical school. He'd had no time to date. It was just the nature of things, right? So now he's trying to find somebody that he can actually go into a relationship with. So the rules for the ES Villa is that ages and professions are hidden for now. Those will be revealed later on. So not long after they all settle, they get their first text and its first impression votes. They all need to go into the igloo one after the other and pick the person that they like the most. As soon as they sent that text, I was like, I hope there are pictures in that igloo, because how will they even remember? People that can't even look other people in the eye. But they were pictures, so production really had them covered, and I like that. I really did appreciate that. Hyung-ju talks to Jisoo and he asks her last name and she tells him. So everybody's thinking that that's a sign that he's gonna pick her. I can't remember who did he pick. Hold on, he did, and they pick her. Anywho, so everybody goes to vote. Yeon Myung, Min Hong, and Ji-won are all first, and they pick Jaeyoon. So Jaeyoon got 3 votes off the bat. Yeon Myung says that he was handsome. Min Hong says that he was slow, and she prefers slow guys. Like, my God. God. That, I don't even know if you can call that a compliment. Can you? She actually said he was frustratingly slow. Okay, I get it. You know what? Let me be nice and let me give you the full details. She said that he was frustratingly slow and he felt like the polar opposite of herself. So she felt like that's what she needed right now, and that's why she chose him. I still don't think it's a compliment, guys. I really don't. Ji-won says she chose Jaeyoon because he was soft-spoken and that's her kind of guy. It looked like from the footage they showed, some of the men were actually threatened by Jaeyoon because they said he's a handsome guy, and since it's first impressions, a lot of women remember beauty. They weren't wrong. 3 guys went next: Jaeyoon, Hyung-kyu, and Seung-lee, and they all picked Jisoo. Jaehyun said he picked Jisoo because she was the first person that he saw, or no, that showed up because she was right after him, and she had fair skin and big eyes, and he found that she was beautiful. Hyung Kyu said Jisoo is his type. Song Lee said it was love at first sight. I was like, oh god, those are big statements considering he's going to be dating around. I mean, it is what it is, guys. So at this point, Jaehyun has 3 votes and Jisoo has 3 votes. Now we see who Jisoo votes for, and she goes for Sang Ho. She said she loved his style. So basically, I guess he gave the energy that she was looking for. She did say she wanted somebody with retriever energy, and he does even call himself a puppy. In his one-on-one, he says, "Hi, princess, I'm your puppy." It was kind of cute. I'm not even going to lie. Sang Ho chose Yong. He said he likes that she smiles a lot, that she has a pretty smile. Yido chose Jung Muk. Said that she liked his look when he came down, the way he was dressed, and that he looked very handsome. And then Jung Muk chose Yido because she has a pretty smile, he likes her looks, and he found her very beautiful. So Jung Muk and Yido were the only ones who matched based on first impressions. They all get their room assignments. Some people are sharing, some people have individual rooms. And then later on, they gather to, do chores and stuff like that, cooking teams and everything. Jaehyun and Jung Muk are roommates. They came last, so they were sent to get the remaining 2 women, who were Yido and Jeon. You need to see them strategizing on how they would approach the door. Just knock on the door. I was dying. I don't even know if I was embarrassed for them or if I was laughing. But man, do we take social skills for granted? Oh my god. He said knock from afar. I didn't even understand this. What do you mean knock from? How can you knock from afar? And then when they knocked, the women were like, hi. They were like, oh my god. They were like 13-year-old boys. The women said, give me 5 minutes. So they waited. Oh my god. I mean, the waiting was nice. I think that was respectful. And then when they were going back to the house, Do asked Jung Muk, oh, were you guys being punished because you were late to come get us? He said, no, we chose to. I thought that was a very good answer. That was smooth. The guy has a little game. He's not starting from scratch. So Jeon is proactive because she likes Jaehyun and she's trying to get closer to him. They were all gathered at the dinner table. It was one of the most awkward things I'd ever seen in my life. But when her roommate Do went to use the washroom, when she came back, she was like, oh, you sit here. And then she moved over so she could be right across Jaehyun. I thought it was smooth, but then they didn't really end up talking. So what was the point? Jisoo was very happy that Sang-ho sat next to her because she liked him. Remember, she picked him during their first impressions votes. But Sang-ho sat at that spot because it was close to the fan and he was hot. He had no interest in Jisoo. So obviously, they didn't say anything to each other. She wasn't brave enough to actually start a conversation with him, but she still likes him, has a crush on him. Later on, Jeon tells Do, because they're roommates, that she likes Jeon. Do tells her that she's currently interested in Jung Muk, but it's still open. It's early days. Sorry guys, Love Island. It's early days. Jeon says that she has decided that Jaehyun is the one for her. I'm like, girl, at least, I mean, I get it, you like who you like, but at least interact with some people, I thought that was a little possessive. I mean, it's still early. It's literally day 1, night 1. You don't even know if this guy likes you, so what's your game plan here, They get another text that there's going to be eternal singles nights every night at the campfire. So it's basically a gathering for them that forces them to socialize. Otherwise, these people will not come out of their room. They will not interact at all. So it's a good thing for them. Jeon wants to go late so that she can sit beside Jaehyun. And I'm like, are you forgetting that you're in a house with 4 other, or at least 3 other single girls that might be interested in this guy? You're not the only one. So they're timing it, they're peaking, they're trying to gauge the right time. By the time they get out, Yong Muk, who is also interested in Jaehyun, has already sat down beside him. So there's nothing that Jaehyun can do. She had to sit somewhere else. And she said that pissed her off a little bit. And like, it's way too early to be getting possessive, girl. So I don't know that Jiyeon is going to be my favorite. I can already tell the signs. I'm not sure that I'm going to be shifting towards Jiyeon by the end of this. But let's see how it goes. I'm not judging. We watch and we don't judge. We watch and we don't judge, guys. They get another text that they need to share, that they should share why they are internal singles and what experiences have led. What experiences in their life led to them being single. So as they are talking and exchanging stories, it looks like Jung Muk falls more in like with Do, while Do seems to seems to develop an interest in Song Lee, because he tells his story about his experiences in Brazil, one of his experiences in Brazil, and how that shaped his interaction with the opposite sex due to a miscommunication, you know, the language barrier and everything. And she just starts firing him with questions. Did you think that it was a miscommunication? How many languages do you speak? She seemed to be really interested in him. So Jung Muk notices that, and he's like, oh, he thinks that she likes him, but I mean, what can he do now? All he can do is shoot his shot, and if it doesn't land well, it is what it is, isn't it? And then Jaeon, whose first impression vote was for Jisoo, is now changing it to Jung Muk, because he said sometimes the more you see somebody, the more you fall in like with them, and that the more he sees her, the more like he sees her smile. She's very pretty when she smiles. She's very animated, very social, and he likes that. Yeon-mung, sorry for the name mishap, guys. Yeon-mung, on the other side, says she didn't get anything back from Jaeyoon, and so she kind of developed an interest in Jung Muk, and I'm like, fucking conga line. And now Jung Muk is first place. When they asked Do earlier on that between Song Lee and Jung Muk, who is now first place, because she'd chosen why am I confusing this? She'd chosen Jung Muk first. She said it's now tied between Song Lee and Jung Muk. But Yong, yes, completely switched from Jaeyoon and is now solely on Jung Muk. Conga line. Fucking conga line. It's going to be very interesting. They showed some like mid-tension moments. I don't want to call it high. High tension is blood sports, when they are punching each other and fighting. Or bloody games. Sorry, I don't know. Hamza calls it blood sports. That's what confuses me. That is high tension. I wouldn't really call this high tension. I call it mid-tension. Everybody's trying to, piss on their pole. Fucking hell, I gotta stop saying this. They're trying to mark their territory, and nobody's backing down, but we'll see how it goes. Koreans are always very respectful. Even when it comes to things of love, they're always very respectful. But I think it's gonna be interesting, and that's why I said it gave me offline love vibes, because I think that kind of pure, the kind of pure beautiful relationships that develop by the end of the show, I think we know that two of those couples are still together till today. Was it only two that actually made it out? No, more than two made it out, but we know two are still together. And just the purity of that kind of like first love vibe, I think we're going to get that with this, and I'm excited. So yeah, this was just episode 1's recap. I'll try and do 2 and 3 together. We'll see how it goes. If I can't, we'll do it one by one. We're not going anywhere. You're here. We're here. We're talking about it. And I love talking about it. I needed a break from reactions, guys. So, yeah, I'm excited. I hope you guys are too. I'll see you guys for Exchange 2 and My Siblings Romance China. I'm really excited for the reviews of this show, guys. Honestly, talking it out is one of my favorite things. And I know a lot of you share opinions, and sometimes very different opinions from mine, which really makes me see the shows in different lights, and I love that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to our interactions on these shows. But yeah, go ahead, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, leave your comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.